Hello guys, welcome back to another video. This is the Football Connect. I'm your Simon. We're back again with another one. Sorry for another late review of all the games which were played yesterday that I did not do. Yes, the last video that I did was the Chelsea game, but mentally, like in terms of yesterday, I was really checked out. I was not in the proper place to do a proper analysis, so I had to really maybe close my eyes a bit so that I come and do better. Remember that two games that I need to talk about. The other one is a classic. I'll get to that one, but in this video, I'm going to be talking about not only one, not only two, but 3 or 4 games which were played yesterday. I did pay attention to all of them, but the main one, of course, being Liverpool versus Arsenal at Anfield, the Guard of Honor. That was the game that people were waiting for. We're going to talk about it, everything that happened in the game, what I was happy to see, and what I can see already that Arne Slot is working on. Sorry for that. Then also talk about what actually happened in the game between Trent Alexander-Arnold and the Liverpool fans. Already, I think the players have accepted this fate, but I don't think anyone expected, and that's the truth of the matter, I don't think anyone expected that the Liverpool fans were actually going to boo one of their own. But they made their reaction known. They made that truth known. They're not happy. And also, maybe we talk about him being also the reason why Arsenal came back in the game. But that's a story for another. For the end of the video, let's talk about the game. So, first of all, the most important thing of the game, the Guard of Honor. It was really, really, really funny. I know social media is gonna make this trend. Watching the Arsenal players coming in, setting up that Guard of Honor to allow Liverpool, the champions of England, they walk in, the team that they thought they were competing with. But the thing people have to understand, the Arsenal never been on top of the Premier League even once, even one day. They never. They've always been below. Even I don't think they even had an hour on top of the league this season. So as much as we say they were competing, that's not a sign of a team that was competing, and that is the truth of the matter. People have to accept it in that way. But that's not really what I'm talking about here. But the God of One happened, and we got into the game. And I don't lie to you, because of the way Arne Slot has set up the team, putting on back Konate, Bradley playing now, actually is now accepting his fate that he will be the starting right back unless things changes in the summer for Liverpool. Arne Slot is testing that, is making sure. If you really pay attention to how the games are being approached, how the team is building up, how the movement of the game, you can actually see that it's actually like a pre-season for Arne Slot. He wants to see the players he needs to replace, positions which he needs to work on. And it's really clear. Bradley, yes, was playing, made sure that we saw what he can do. Gravenberg was back in the game. It was really good to watch. Jones continued, took his position. Dominic Soboslai taking on that number 10. Then, of course, Gakpo, Salah, and Diaz were still in the players in the game. And I think that is still clear that even in his time to test, these are still Arne Slot's trusted lieutenants in the game. He still puts them back in the game, and I love to see that. The game started, and Arsenal had made so many changes. Declan Rice was not even in the game. Thomas Partey was the guy who was playing there. Martin Odegaard, of course, being the creator we know him to be. Trossard was playing on top alongside Saka, and as well as Martinelli. Martinelli and Mourinho are the guys who scored the goal. The first goal, we saw what happened for Liverpool. In the second goal, we saw what happened as well. We'll talk about that in the game. Let's talk about Liverpool. We started building up Anfield crowd, pushing them, and Liverpool should have scored so many goals, as well as also conceded. They made so many mistakes that sometimes, if it wasn't because of maybe Arsenal players not being clinical, or maybe because of the keeper actually doing something and saving them, there could have been a difference there. It could have been a difference there. But all this has been caused because they're learning some new stuff. They're learning something new from the manager. They can see that Arne Slot is already working on building the future, or the club's the next thing that he wants of Liverpool. But the game did not go that way. Salah was trying by all means to get the assist. He passed an amazing goal to Diaz. I have no idea how Diaz did not score that goal, but he didn't. And people actually talked about it and said that what can Salah do if he's doing all these things and yet team is not finishing the chances it's creating? But he did well. He also passed a nice goal, a nice one, and Dominic Soboslai released it perfectly in the legs of Diaz. I think that was the second goal. The first goal was an amazing attack from Gakpo, which he was released. I think it was released by Robertson. As he was going, then Saliba was able to stop him. What the hell? Side note, Saliba was getting exposed so countless times, something that I've never seen from him. But he was released, got an opportunity to take the opportunity, and he was stopped before he go anywhere. Then it went out to become a throw-in, a quick throw-in from, I think it was Jones to Robo. Robo crossed and then amazing header to make it Liverpool 1, Arsenal 0. Then the game continued. A few minutes later, Salah released an amazing ball to Dominic Soboslai, who tapped it in with an amazing skill, passing out Raya and just putting it in Luis Diaz's legs and easy finish up for Diaz, and that was 2-0. They could have scored more. Curtis Jones had a chance which was saved amazingly by the goalkeeper. It could have been a different game. If we had scored 3 goals, I'm sure that game would have been over. But yet, we made it difficult for ourselves, and the opportunity which we were creating, we didn't finish. Then the team started coming back in the game. The first goal, which was scored by Martinelli, it was also because of how Liverpool were asleep. It was a good cross which was released. I think it was, I don't know who released it. Was this Kelly or I'm not really sure. But somebody released it, or it was Moreno. I'm not really sure, but it was a good cross and it was headed easily by Martinelli in between the defenders, Konate and Sali and Van Dijk, and the game was 2-1. Then as the game continues, another opportunity, which was a good tap in by Moreno, and Moreno got a red card, by the way, double yellow. I think after Nunes came in, and I think a lot of chances were missed in the second half for Liverpool. They did score in the end, but Robertson, I think it was Roger that was offside. We did not see the angle that showed how offside he was, but it was said he was offside. And it was in the last minute. It could have ended 3-2, but that's how the game was. But there were also things that happened in the game. So, for example, for the Marino goal, it was a big shot, and I think he followed it to head it in. And the only reason he was onside is because Trent Alexander-Arnold kept him in. But also, we can also admit that his head was on mass. How was his head on mass? Because the Liverpool fans were booing him every single time he touched the ball. They were booing him. And Arne Slot said it perfectly. Is not there to judge what people say, what people do. People have their opportunity, they have the right to express their feelings. This is one of our own who's living for free, and Liverpool fans made it clear. This is something that the players and the players and the authority did not expect Liverpool fans to do, but they did. This boy did us dirty, and it's just natural that we show our distaste, our unhappy, and what we are feeling, and I think they did it perfectly. You just have to accept it. Whether you support them or not, it's none of their business. You have to accept that they're not happy. He caused this. He left Liverpool in this position. He put this team there. He put the crowd there, and they're just giving him the test of their own medicine. So it finished, like I said, 2-2. It could have been more. It was a good game, by the way. Mikel Arteta had to work so hard in the second half to find how to explode the Liverpool team, and he did perfectly that. Then the game continued. Then the games replay continued, not really the game. The other games which were played, Nottingham Forest did not take advantage of the opportunity that Chelsea had given them. The game finished against Leicester by 2-2, and the owner of Nottingham Forest was not happy. I repeat, people, he was not happy. I think even the crowd was shocked that he came out, showed what he did, and he just went crazy, to be honest. because they drew 2-2 against Leicester City in a game which they actually led by 2 goals to 1. And I think I heard that Tao got injured. I was not really sure what happened, but I think I heard one of their most important players got injured. The game played well. Nottingham Forest was scored first by Leicester. They came back in the game, and I thought they would won it, but Leicester scored one of the best goals I've ever seen. And I think Nottingham Forest tried to come back in the game, but it was too late. The game finished 2-2, which means that they just had 1 point rather than 3 points, which would have put them on top of Chelsea in the Champions League places. Now with 2 games left, I think it's 2 games left. The other thing we saw was Tottenham Hotspurs were beaten by Crystal Palace, confirming that this is their number 20 defeat of the season, which actually means that they almost are close to half of the games. They've passed, I'm not really sure. Yeah, I think they've passed the half of the games. That's really crazy. Ange Postecoglou is still the manager because of his performance in the Europa, but I have a feeling if he loses there, he's no longer the manager of Tottenham Hotspurs. The other game was Manchester United also lost playing against West Ham in a game that you thought that they would have done something at home. West Ham have not been performing well, but West Ham beat them by 2 goals to 0. Another problem, another reason why people are saying that Amorim could actually be sacked at the end of the season, especially if he leaves with nothing. He lost. That's the truth. He lost the other game which was played. I think those were the games of yesterday. Of course, Aston Villa beat Bournemouth by 1 goal to 0 in a game which finished. They were missing players, but yet did enough to get the job done. The other ones, I think I talked about them yesterday. I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. What did you think of Liverpool versus Arsenal? What impressed you, and what do you United need to do? Maybe I'll talk about them in the midweek while we build up for whatever that happens. But I'm excited. Like the video, subscribe to connect. That's the best way you support us here at the TFC. A lot of things happened, but congratulations to Arsenal for drawing the game that they should have lost. And as well, an amazing God of Honor. It's something that I will leave in our eyes as a Liverpool fans, as well as their second God of Honor, by the way. They did that another one in 2020. There's another one. Mikel Arteta. It's not exciting here. So nice down here, out here. I'm out. Like the video, subscribe to connect. I'll see you in another one. Peace.